For the next group of videos, we're going to look at animation and some of the options you have available to you. We're also going to look at the basics of how masks work and how you could create something like a trim path in After Effects. Okay, so for this scene, I have created a question mark in the center of the canvas in Work Sans semi-bold. And what we're going to do is we're going to animate the top drawing on, and then the bottom's going to scale up, something really simple. So the first thing we need to do is create a trim path for the top. So I'm just going to trace my question mark. And I'm going to go into the direct select tool. If I Alt, I can break the angle. Move it over a little. Okay. Then we're going to give this path some thickness. Some thickness. And I might want to adjust a bit. Just make sure it's covered up. Alrighty. Okay, so if I just take this, and what I want to do is animate this stroke, and as the stroke animates, it will reveal the top of the question mark. There we go. Maybe we'll go in the other direction. No, from the top's good. Okay. So I'm going to grab my editable shape, plug it into my text shapes mask. So you go mask, connect to index 1, and we get this. So what is happening? It is not honoring the stroke that we have on this mask. It's honoring this underlying shape, and it's connecting these two dots. So to turn the path into an actual shape that we can use to drive the mask, we need another step. So what we need is called an outline, and I am Control period, start typing, outline. All right, and we're gonna plug our shape into the input shape of our outline. And we see something popped up. I'm going to just turn this off for a second. See, it's turning the outline into a shape, which is exactly what we want. So now we're going to go grab this, replace the mask, and it looks right. You can see that you don't see the little dot at the end of the shape anymore. And we might want to, it's still alive, which is great, so we might want to just clean this up a touch. All right, so now what I can do is I can animate this trim path, and it will reveal the question mark. So to add keyframes, as we said before, hit the little diamond. So that's the start, and that's the end. Preview that, I'm gonna hit space bar. There's a little dodgy part right there. So if I was being really persnickety about this, I would probably break this into two parts. But for now, I'm not going to stress it too much. Let's look at these keys for a second. So there's two things you can do. You can edit the tangencies of these keys in the graph editor. What I'm doing is I'm alt dragging to zoom out. Up goes this way, down goes that way, space bar grabs it. So I could do something like this. That. So that will come in quick, and then ease. And that's cool. We can also, though, do this. So I'm going to take this, go back to 1 year, and go to the timeline. And that gives you the most control to play with the handles. Okay, so if you go to edit, oh no, sorry, looking for preferences here. Okay, so if I go to window, preferences, I can turn on this show beta features, which shows some goodies that mainframe's working on. Okay, so I'm going to turn that on, and with that on, when I right click on these keyframes, there's a thing that comes up, magic easing, which has a lot of really handy kind of preset animation. So I'm going to set this slow in, very slow in, slow out. Maybe that's too extreme. We'll do slow in, slow out. Let's try that. Cool. All right. All right, so the next thing we need to do is animate this little bottom shape. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to select my text, shape, merge to editable. In my merge shape, I'm just gonna drag, grab all those, delete them. So I just have the bottom. Then I'm going to make a null. I'll do it over here. I can't find it. Null. Cool. All right, so I'm going to put my null in the middle of my dot. I'll just dial it in a little over here, I guess. All right. So I'm going to set some keys on my null. We will do scale. All right, so it's going to end at 100%. And right around here, it's going to be 0. I'm tabbing to get between them. All right, I'll just scrub through and see what we get. A little lethargic. All right, so for these, I will use their Bezier handles. hit spacebar. Let's see what I get. And well, temperamental with the spacebar. I guess you have to go over into the canvas to stop it. But let's see here. It's still a little pokey. Okay, so if I wanted to retime this whole thing, I'm sure there's a number of ways to do it, but I think the easiest is to grab your keyframes, grab the transform. I'm going to speed this all up a bit. There we go. That's all right. I'll take that. All right, let's see. We don't need it to be quite so long, so I'll go in here. Let's make the duration, make the whole thing 2 seconds. All right. All right, so now let's render this thing out. So to do that, we go, well, first we should save it. So I'm going to save this scene. I've already set it to my procedural animation cavalry project. So I'm going to call this trim path demo. All right. And then I'm going to go File, Render Manager. And what this does, this is pretty neat. There's a lot of powerful things you can do here, but all we want to do at the moment is just render this thing out. So for File, I'm a big fan of this idea of chain of custody, so you can always tell where things came from. So I'm going to say scene, and it's going to be automatic. Like once I set this up, it's just going to keep doing it. Composition. There we go. Cool. So trim path demo version composition 1. And you know, while we're at it, let's rename this. Call it edit so somebody knows what to edit. Be nice to the future person. All right. For me, I am looking for a QuickTime Apple ProRes HQ. And I think that's all we need. We're going to go to Explorer, our project. By default, it goes to renders. And here's our scene.